Welcome to Beyond the Bench, a podcast dedicated to the unsung heroes of college athletics. We pull back the curtain and give you a first-hand look into what goes into operating successful athletic departments and programs. Beyond the Bench is brought to you by Motion Sports, the technology platform for modern college athletics. You can listen to or watch every episode of Beyond the Bench on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy this episode.
Let's get started. I'll give you a second. Maybe if you just want to introduce yourself. Name, what you do, where you're from, the basics, and then we can dive into life as an athletic trainer here.
For sure. It's a very, very simple one, but my name is Adrian Perez. I've been an athletic trainer here for almost 3 years. Before that, I was in grad school, so I went to Point Loma and down in San Diego. But then before that, I'm actually an alumni here too. I did my undergrad here, so I kind of, I knew I wanted to be kind of in the area too. So I'm from San Bernardino area too. So it was just kind of like families nearby, friends are nearby. It was a good choice for me to make for sure.
That's sweet. Okay. So how long have you been in this role you're in now?
At San Bernardino? For 3 years, almost 3 years. I want to say maybe like in 2 or 3 months it's going to be 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then before that, like I said, I just graduated from school in 22. I had a short little kind of like internship that turned into a job with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Cool. I
was like, that's from school. I wanted, to go the pro route and stuff like that. But actually being in it, it was kind of like, it wasn't really what I expected. I'm glad I did it. Yeah. But it's like, this is not a lifestyle I can see myself doing for many, many years. It's day and night. It's no joke. Like it's D1's very similar. I've interned at some D1 places, but professionals is like you're nonstop. Yeah, you're nonstop, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted to give that up, give everything that I had going on for myself, and just devote myself to athletic training. I love athletic training, but it's a different beast for sure. Right.
Yeah. So being with Diamondbacks, and are you a baseball guy? That's your
I
baseball kind of is your sport.
Yeah, I kind of grew. I like basketball too. I work basketball here too, but baseball was kind of the route I wanted to go, just because at Point Loma they had a really good baseball team. They went all the way to the World Series that year that I was there, and kind of learning from their AT was like, this is something that I want to kind of dive deeper in, and I did. I got a good couple of months with them and got some great exposure, some great experience, and still took that with me here. You know what I mean? Yeah. But baseball was kind of like, I just wanted to dive deeper into for that. I'm not really sure why. I just wanted baseball.
Yeah. So I guess take us through a day in the life as one of the athletic trainers here. I assume there's a couple more.
We got so it's the head athletic trainer Pat, and then we got 3 other assistants, me, Coco, and Randy. Okay. But typical day in life, it's a little bit slower now in the spring just because of all the other fall sports that are in season and winter sports that are in season start slowing down. But typical day is waking up early, opening up at 7:45, so being up at 5:30, 6 in the morning to get ready and start your day. Getting here, and it's pretty straightforward as far as just getting practices ready, set up for all the athletes, and then they'll start rolling in. And it's like today, it was literally I haven't sat down at my desk. Yeah, it's been taking out waters. I come back, athletes are already in there waiting. It's treatment after rehab, after treatment after rehab. You get those guys in and those girls out, and it's like, okay, I can sit down, and then you get another kind of wave in coming in. And then kind of you finish off the day. Really, the whole day is kind of like that. You kind of just sneak out where you can and, go check out on practices, see how they're doing and stuff like that. And then it's just literally, that's just kind of a repeat. Yeah. Luckily for me right now, I'm not really doing too much traveling, but when I do work basketballs and soccer, it's like I'm on probably a plane every other week at least. Cool. Okay. Yeah, or I'm on a bus driving somewhere.
Right. And so are you mostly basketball and soccer, or do you just you all help with every sport?
We, I'll travel. Like, we all help with every sport, but we have certain teams that we'll travel with. Right. So, like, for me, it'll be men's soccer and women's basketball. But, like, sometimes it'll just be me for men's soccer and women's soccer. Okay. Like, we'll just maybe travel one. Yeah. So that, it can get a little, the workload can get pretty intense, too, hectic. on the road. But it's fun, man. It's, like, being able to travel, get to see new places, especially the preseason. The preseason is really fun because you get to just You're not playing any conference teams.
Random.
You're not seeing the same teams twice a year or something like that. You get to see new places. So I'm very thankful for that. The travel's fun, but it can towards the end of the year beat on you a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So you're up 5 a.m. You're usually in bed by a decent hour?
No, I'm in bed probably because by the time I get home, it's probably around 3 to 4, sometimes 5, depending if I don't open that day.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to the gym after.
Right.
I'm trying to maybe get some work done on take care of myself. I like to hang out too, and so sometimes I'm probably not in bed till maybe 11 or something like that. 12 on a bad day. You know what I mean? But I just kind of I know it's like a endless cycle, so it's like I figure out a way how to go through
get a routine of
once you get a routine, it's easy. It's like your body just gets used to it and you're rolling.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part of being able to make sure athletes are healthy or help them get healthy if they're not and stay healthy if they are? Yeah,
that's a good question, and I kind of figured that out. I found that out after I left the Diamondbacks, or why I wanted to leave. And it's a way for me to give back.
Yeah.
So like with the Diamondbacks when I was there, I'm working with this kid, he's 18 and just signed for, $800,000, something like that, right?
That's awesome.
Working on his elbow, stuff like that.
Sure.
And it's like, in my head, it's like, I'm not really getting any satisfaction out of this. Like, I know if I leave, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He's going to have enough money to hire the best, PT, AT, or the next one, or the next staff member, or stuff like that. So I kind of like that part of the being able to help someone out wasn't there. That was one of the reasons. So like coming down to a college level where it's like you're able to give back to someone that's maybe a lot less fortunate than a professional athlete. It's like that satisfaction of being able to help somebody it's a good feeling of taking, I mean, you know how it is from being injured to literally having someone there take you step by step and getting back to, close to where
comfort about,
getting you close to where you were on the court or on the field. And it's a good feeling to see that. It's a good feeling to see that on when you're on the sideline watching your athletes, knowing that like, even though they're doing all the hard work, you still help kind of guide them and let them get to where they are right now.
That's cool, and really that's the whole preface of this podcast, and we call it Behind the Bench or Beyond the Bench because we just want to highlight, because obviously people go to the games and watch the athletes, but there's so many different things that go into getting them ready to play and making them healthy. I guess sometimes during a game, a fan might see you running around helping someone. Hopefully, you don't have to do anything during a game.
That's always a goal.
Healthy, but it's really cool to just hear like the basis behind everything that you do. It's just that you want to give back and help people, and we kind of just want to show the spotlight because there's so many people around the country that are just like that. But,
for sure.
But most people don't. Most fans of the sport don't ever, pay any mind to that. So it's really cool to be able to hear your story.
And we kind of like that though. Like AT is kind of like we don't really need the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like for us, it's not about being shouted out at at the end of the game or it's like this is what we like to do.
Right.
When you like to do something like that, you're not worried about the fame and the the glamour and the pictures at the end of it. It's just this is what we like to do.
That's a great way to look at it. And obviously, from your perspective, I would assume like you get all the fulfillment and just knowing that your players are actually being able to compete.
You win a game. That's all I need.
And see how happy that makes other athletes. I know for me, whenever I was playing basketball, it's like I wanted to stay out of the training room as much as I could because that would mean I'm probably healthy. But I always knew, if something was bothering me or anything, I could, come in to our trainers and they would get right to the bottom of it.
Yeah, you get down to the point, like don't mess around with it. Let's just figure it out while we can. Well, it's not that bad right now.
Yeah. Get in and get out. Let's see. Do you prefer night games or day games?
Night games for sure.
For all sports.
Yeah, there's just a different kind of. There's something like good about like having a soccer game at night with spotlights on you and stuff like that. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
This year we're able to play in. I'm blanking on the name. It's where the LA Galaxy play. We're able to play a soccer game in their stadium there, and it was at night. Got a good amount of fans there too, and the spotlight's on you. It feels cool,
Yeah,
it kind of feels like you're at
more of an environment,
good sport environment. Than basketball, I think it's better at night. You get just the same thing. I don't think you want to play a basketball game.
No,
during the day.
We always my least favorite game time was always 12 noon on like a weekend.
The problem with that is you guys are barely waking up
early, and then. But I always like night games too because you get like the build up and the anticipation all day. Fans that are excited and
get a good win and the night and call it a night.
Exactly. What's I guess talking about resources and things that help you be the best trainer you can be. What are those key key things that you have or need or wish that you had?
I mean, there's endless room when it comes to like, you know, certain modalities and stuff like that. But it's also, we got to kind of be a little careful with it too, because it's like you can offer so many things, and it's like kind of like the more and more you offer to an athlete, it's kind of like you're almost playing a mind game with them of as if they need that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
what's going to actually help?
Yeah, I need that every day versus what actually is going to help. But what I do like to have is just kind of at least options for myself to choose for you, for the athlete. Because, you know, a lot of, we've gotten a lot of help with our AD. He's given us access to new like recovery stuff. Like we had a whole new Normatec system.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, if you ever come by the training room after this, it's just lawn chairs laid out with Normatec boots.
Right.
We got these Normatec stands with, you know, massage guns and vibrating foam rollers.
That's sweet.
We've been able to get a BFR, which is blood flow restriction, which is not a lot of places have that. So it's like being able to just kind of have like tools in my bag is very helpful. But as for the athlete, I have to be a little careful of like, you know, maybe you don't need this every day. It's not like a necessity, right? Yeah. So trying to not to like trick them into thinking they need something like this, because sometimes maybe things break and it's not there that day.
Yeah.
You don't want to kind of start psyching out your athletes a little bit. For
sure. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, the common fan or people out there don't really understand how much recovery has adapted. Like, even from when I could first remember, it was getting the ice tub. You know, getting the cold tub was kind of the main thing to go to. And now there's so many different like tools and just things that make you feel so much better. Or physically. Just a
simple sleeping well and eating well. Like that's still highly overlooked. Highly overlooked for sure.
No doubt. Yeah. Do you have maybe like a story or any I guess testimonies to great recovery stories that you've seen from athletes you've been around, or has, for the most part, most people have been super healthy, which is great if that's the case.
Yeah, no, I don't, not like particular stories, but what I do see with the certain athletes, kind of like I see a trend with them, are the ones that are doing the right things. They're not out staying late out at night, you know, partying and stuff like that. They're getting in bed by a certain time. Yeah. They're eating well. I always see them with, you know, a meal prep something. They're always hydrating. They're always, like I said, sleeping too. They're always doing something preventative. Yeah. So even if they feel okay, they're still hopping on the boots. They're still jumping in the ice tub. They're still doing, you know, they're still stretching and rolling out, doing, you know, what we tell them to do. We give them a little routine and they follow it. I think that's kind of the tricky part that we find with athletes is they're always looking for like the quick fix. What's going to get me not sore? I feel sore right now. You know, what's going to not make me sore tomorrow? And it's kind of like, you know, we don't really have too much for that. It's more so building a routine. That's what we try to do, is not like just hand them this machine and say, this is going to make you better. It's more so like, let's figure out a routine. Let's figure out a plan for you. Are you sleeping well? Like I'll sometimes, even with injuries when they come in, I'm not looking at what caused the injury, like someone stepped on your ankle or something like that. I'm kind of looking beyond that. You know, injuries happen because sometimes you're not taking care of your body.
Bad habits.
Yeah, bad habits and stuff like that. So I'm literally looking down the whole, I'm going down the list from A to Z the entire time.
It's just as much preventative as it is you know, reacting to what had actually happened.
Yeah, for
sure. What's, I guess, take me through like a game day for you. Are you, let's say there's a basketball game at 6 p.m. What's that look like for you? Yeah,
for me, it's, we usually try to get here minimum 2 hours beforehand. For basketball, different sports is different depending on timeline. But basketball kind of happens pretty fast, so you guys don't want to get here too early and stand around. But I'm getting here. I'm getting the arena set up, which is just outside these doors. You know, getting the whole sideline set up and stuff like that. And then by the time I do that, which takes me about, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, athletes start flowing in, you know, taping, I'm stretching, I'm doing treatment and stuff like that. And usually I try to get that done before the first hour, because that next hour is all the team stuff. Right. Watching the film, going over, you know, the scout for that week and stuff like that. And even then, guys just like to come out here, get shots up and you know, get in their routine. You guys get in their flow and stuff like that. So I got to make sure I don't disrupt that. I can't be late. I can't, you know, not move fast enough. Sometimes if I'm grateful that we do have a pretty well staffed and we got a bunch of interns that can just kind of help speed things up and make that transition smooth. Because once you kind of, I mean, you know, something happens and it screws up your flow, it kind of, it throws you off for the rest of the day, and sometimes it could be the reason why you don't perform that day or something. So I try to make sure not to get in the way of that. Sure.
Speaking of taping ankles, what's like if you had to guess how many ankles you've taped across your lifetime, You have like
even 3 years is probably a lot. Our head's been training for like 30 years, so I can't even imagine his. Man, in my lifetime.
It's hard. I mean, even like in one given day.
Let's say if I'm in soccer and basketball season, I'm probably doing roughly 20 to 30 ankles
per day.
Easily. That's kind of just like that's a rough estimate.
Yeah.
And that's just, I'm not talking about the year. I'm not talking about, on road trips and stuff like that, practices on the road and stuff like that. Like we go through boxes of tape.
It's up there.
We already did our second order this year of tape. So that says a lot.
So 20 to 30 a day, you're well over 10,000, certainly.
If you could do the math, I can't do the math. If you can.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking a few years and you're
for sure
doing 20 to 30.
It's just one of those things. It's just
muscle memory.
And it just, you don't even think about like I tape 30 today. It's just like that's
part
of it.
Have you ever
it's part of it.
Timed like the fastest that you could?
I didn't, but I think an athlete did one time, and I think the fastest I got was like 30 or 40, 35, 40 seconds, something like that. That's if I just need to get you in and out.
Really
and
going.
Half the time, it's not even me trying to do that. It's, oh, hey, I got practice in 2 minutes.
I'm a little late.
They run in, throw their sock off, and it's like, all right, let's do it. And then, you got to be quick.
That's fun.
You got to be quick, especially like even on a game, right? So you get hurt, 2 minutes left in the game, you sprain your ankle, you got to come out, tape it up real quick, and get you back in there. Right. Doesn't matter what's going on, how hurt it is. Let's just try to get you back in.
Sure. I always joked with our trainer like that I could probably tape my own ankle because of how many times I watched him tape my ankle.
Yeah, we hear that a lot too, and it's good. I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Funny that you said that. I had an soccer athlete, send me a picture. I think this Saturday or Friday, and he taped his own ankle, and it looked good. He's like, if there's anything I learned over these last 3 years is learning how to tape ankle. Yeah, so it's like, all right, that's a cool little thing to be able to see.
Just a little skill to have in the back pocket. Yeah,
and it looked good. It didn't look crappy either. It looked real good.
Right. So how has athletic training in general changed since you started? Not obviously, it's only been a few years.
Yeah,
it's rapidly changing, I assume.
Mm-hmm. I think just because even just talking to Pat, who's been doing it for a long time, it's just an endless amount of new things coming out, whether it's new modalities coming out, right? You offer more and you give more to your athletes and stuff like that. I think the demand of athletic training has gone up a lot. Before, and this is kind of a cool history about San Bernardino, is we've only had 2 head athletic trainers in the lifetime of athletics. One was Laura and the second one's Pat. And Laura's been running the show by herself for, I want to say, it's probably a bad guess, 15, 20 years at least. Mm-hmm. And then she hired Pat as an assistant, and it has been them 2 for probably all the way till mid 2000s.
Wow.
So, right, I mean, like, they're able to do it with just them 2.
Yeah.
But as you know, other places, D1 places, you got an athletic trainer for every sport.
Right.
So, the demand's definitely changing.
Yeah.
Right. You got to kind of keep up with the new evidence that's out there, whether it's, how to rehab an ACL, right? There's always something else new coming out. There's always new modalities coming out. But I'll say the biggest thing that's changing is definitely the demand for an athletic trainer, I think, which is a good thing, right? Yeah. Especially high schools. A lot of high schools still don't have athletic trainers and have sports like football and stuff like that. So I think even just them knowing what an athletic trainer is beneficial to the profession for sure.
Right. And if you had to predict some big change to athletic training in general that would come in the next 10, 15 years, would you? 'Cause obviously 10, 15 years ago, no one probably had an idea that Normatec boots would be a thing. But what would you see, or what do you think could be a good idea?
Well, I don't know about a good idea, but I think what I could see end up changing, and hopefully not, is maybe the education requirements.
Okay.
Because athletic training first started off as a undergrad degree. Mm-hmm. All you needed was an undergrad degree. Then they moved it up to master's. It's kind of like the same thing for PT. Mm-hmm. Started off undergrad, master's. Now it's a doctorate's degree.
Right.
So maybe athletic training goes to that. I really don't think so, but it could possibly change to something like that. I think, hopefully it doesn't do that, but I think maybe we can see that'll probably be a change that can happen in the future. So
what's kind of your process like for, I guess, communicating with athletes, or like how do they know when to come in and get treatment, or how do you contact them to make sure they're doing their stuff at home or when they're not really
that's always a tough part too. We've tried to always get down like a we try to do appointment based and stuff like that, but that's always hard because you don't know what that day is going to bring.
Right.
You don't know how many injuries that day is going to bring. You don't know. The other hard part is class scheduling, right?
Right.
You got to remember they're not just athletes, they're students first too. So we definitely shifted away from that because that just got too complicated of trying to like squeeze someone in here, squeeze them there and stuff like that. And it's really just, and that's kind of the tough part about the profession, but it's good too because you got like 10 things on your mind, but you're able to kind of figure out what, you remember all these things that you have to do, but it's more so just kind of figuring out on the fly. Like, okay, I know someone's coming in today for their knee rehab today.
Sure.
I know so-and-so has his surgery tomorrow. I know so-and-so is coming out of their surgery tomorrow and he's going to need to start doing rehab or can I send him off to PT? It's the biggest thing for me is, and kind of our staff is at the end of the day, we just like to sit down and literally just kind of recap everything that's going on with each of our teams.
Keep everyone in the loop. And
because sometimes it's like I might forget something on my own team, but one of my assistants will remind me like, hey, what's the update on so-and-so? And it kind of gives me a little, a little reminder to stay on top of it. But for me, it's a lot of writing down. I'm literally have a book with me, a little notebook with me. I'm writing down every athlete's name. I'm writing down, the rehab, what they need. Do they need a doctor's appointment and stuff like that? So it's kind of endless. There's no real organized plan, but like I still have something that I can kind of fall back onto.
So is there no like system or like do you guys use some way that you can tell easily, this is when that athlete's free today or practice schedules or this is when I should bring this person in or is there some?
I mean, we always try to go based off like an hour before an hour after practice. Like we always tell the athlete that's like try to come in that slot,
right?
Because like even like if you have 12 o'clock basketball practice, you probably shouldn't have a class that ends at 11:50,
right? You
know what I mean? You should probably have class that ends at 11.
Would likely be done.
So I know that if they have practice, they're usually free an hour before, an hour after. So that's kind of my time where I can, you come in and you do your treatment, your rehab, and after you can do the same thing, your recovery and all that. But we always kind of go by the hour rule, before and after. Don't try to schedule classes in that time frame because it's never going to work out.
I mean it's interesting to me that you guys, that I guess maybe not that you guys, but maybe there isn't just like almost like a system where one, you can keep records of what's going on, but two, you can have a better like landscape of athletes' practice schedules, game schedules, when everything mixes up.
I mean, we have just like a general, like we have our EMR, which is sportswear, which that's where we write our injury notes and our updates on our athletes and stuff like that. And then like general, we just have a Google Excel sheet where it's laid out for the entire year. Right. It's laid out with practices, with games that week and our schedule. So that kind of helps. That helps definitely a lot too. But I get what you mean. Like there's no formal like appointment-based system like you would go at a hospital or something like that. It'd definitely be something to look into.
Interesting.
And to kind of figure that out for sure.
Yeah. So on another note, I always wonder this too, is there like a difficulty balancing like making sure an athlete's truly healthy and everything or getting pressured? Not that a coach is like, hey, make sure this athlete's playing this game, it's a big game, but also like knowing, hey, this is our best player, we need him to be healthy. Is he truly healthy enough to play? Is there ever like a difficult process of balancing that?
I mean, there's always, that worry, right? Because you do as an athletic trainer feel like that falls on you, which it does, right? Our job is to make sure he's available to you. But what I do like about our staff is because Pat's been here for so long and, the coaches know who he is you have to build trust. Yeah. They have to have trust in you. If they don't have any trust in you, they're going to be asking you a million questions and you're going to, feel like you're pushed against the wall. But our staff does trust us. Like they know if we tell them this guy's going to be fine. For us too, is we like to our coaches are and we kind of taught them to be this way, is to be understanding how to, we can modify every athlete. Right. If we got a game Friday and he got hurt Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he's doing very minimal. Right. But he will be available for you to play Friday. Right. But it all goes back down to trust. If you don't have trust with even as an athlete, if you don't trust your athletic trainer, right, that you go to them to look at, whatever injury you got and they're kind of like fumbling through and it's like, yeah, maybe I got to go somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it always comes down to trust. If you don't have any of that trust going on with your athletes and your coaches, you're always going to feel like, you're getting pushed against the wall. But for us, we never feel that way. We always still have that worry of, is that athlete going to be available? But we're also very realistic.
Right. You've got protocols.
Yeah.
That need to be followed to an extent.
Yeah, and if it's, as an athlete, what you can play through and what you can't.
Right.
And for an athletic trainer, I take that for experience.
Sure.
Like ankle sprains, they hurt and they suck, but you tape that thing up, rub a bunch of, biofreeze on it and stuff like that. And once it gets warmed up, it'll feel okay. We'll just deal with the pain that's going to come after.
Right.
So being realistic, with the injury, right? You pull a hamstring and it's a real good one, you probably won't be available. It's
going to be a minute. Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. And we have to kind of reassure them that hey, this is the difference from a little boo-boo versus an actual injury.
Right.
So talking to them, and then again, it just all comes back to trust. Them trusting you that you're going to be able to handle that injury in the correct fashion for sure.
Yeah. So is there, I guess on almost a different note, is there a big game or anything that you can still remember that almost gives you chills about that you were either involved in or went to here where maybe that is big win or rivalry game?
Yeah, I think it was 2 seasons ago with men's basketball, and it wasn't kind of one game particularly. It was just when we were able to go to the Elite Eight. We went to back-to-back years, my first year here and then my second year here, which was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
We were playing against a school called Gannon, which, the record was, they had 2 or 3 losses. They were scoring over 100 and something points a game.
Jeez.
Offense was,
powerhouse.
Yeah. And it was coming down to basically, they were gonna work us. That's right. That's what it sounded like. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mainly because the team that won against us versus Gannon was gonna play Nova, that's where the assistant from Gannon came from.
Okay.
So they wanted to see that matchup, right? And it was just funny because we ended up beating them by 30 something.
Right.
Just played old school.
That's special.
Old school.
Was it a home or away game?
No, it was so the Elite Eight was in Indiana.
Oh,
so
cool.
we were way out there.
Yeah.
But it was just an old school fashion beating of
That's
just
great.
Play great defense and
underdog story
and just
almost.
work them. You know what I mean? And for me to see that, you know what I mean, to kind of be counted out during that year, it was good to see our guys come on top and literally just hand it to them, which is a great feeling.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's just finish with a couple rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
I guess I have to start here. Do you have the best beard in the department? I mean,
I might have the best beard as an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
I might put that out there. If there's anyone else out there, let's see it.
I'm gonna probably say you probably have that one.
I appreciate that, man.
That's impressive. Go-to spot for a post-game meal if it was a home game here.
Home game. We just did one. It was. I think you cannot go wrong with tacos in San Bernardino County, man. You could find some real good taco
go-to spots.
Yeah.
Sure. Would you rather travel to an away game, bus or flight?
Flights are good, but at the end of the day, they equal out to the same amount of time.
Sure.
By the time you get there hours before in the airport.
Yeah.
Hours after in the airport and stuff like that. But I think you feel a little more comfortable flying.
It feels something about it just feels
Yeah,
different.
It's just all right. I'm in the plane for an hour and a half, whatever, and it's quicker versus sitting on a bus for 6-7 hours. That's pretty rough.
Yeah. Let's go. Your favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? I'm gonna go brownies.
Brownies.
Okay. Brownies and maybe some ice cream.
Okay, got you. And let's do favorite college sports venue that you've been to or that you want to go to.
College sports venue.
Or professional sports,
Professional.
I guess.
Just because I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay.
And it's not Heinz Field anymore, it's Acrisure.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to check them out.
Okay.
So actually my girlfriend's in Pittsburgh for PT school, so when she graduates, I'll probably swing by and check out the stadium.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. Adrian.
Appreciate it.
The best beard in the business.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for
Let me know.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Bench. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so you never miss a conversation with the unsung heroes who power college athletics. Beyond the Bench is brought to you by Motion Sports, the technology platform for modern college athletics. To learn more about Motion, visit motionsports.io.